Welcome to Mock the Week. I'm Darby, and joining me this week are Andy Parsons, Holly Walsh and Ed Byrne, Chris Addison, Hugh Dennis and Milton Jones. We start with a round called Headliners. Here's a picture of Labour's two Eds, Balls and Miliband. But what does LAPM stand for?
Is it, look, a pair of Muppets?
Is it, in fact, every train traveller's nightmare? Is it lardy arse and Pratt on mobile?
Is it, lovers avoid public meeting?
Miliband thinking, Labour actually picked me?
Or is Ed Miliband making his most important decision to date, large American, pepperoni, margarita?
Is it just a state of the Labour Party in general? Is it just lumbering along pretty miserably?
Is it Linda and Paul McCartney? I haven't got my glasses on today. No.
Is it last administration pissed money? That close to satire.
Is it simply lengthy article perplexes moron?
OK, we have to get the correct answer if we can.
Labour admits past mistakes?
Well done, Andy Parsons. Thank you very much. Yes, the answer I was looking for is Labour admits past mistakes. This is the news that the Labour Party has apologised for some of its serious failures during its 13 years in power. Adopting a mea culpa strategy at this week's party conference, Ed Miliband admitted the party had got it wrong on immigration, and Ed Balls apologised for their role in the banking crisis. Have you been following the conference?
Oh, yeah, avidly. Because Ed Balls said, actually, that the financial crisis caught them by surprise, which is very odd, because if there's one thing that Balls do, it's warn you that there's about to be stuff coming. Satire.
Labour actually also apologised over immigration as well, didn't it?
Yes.
Turns out that basically when they were in charge, when you were coming into the country, they had no record of who was leaving or coming into the country, which seemed like madness to me, because whenever you came into the country, you always had to give your passport in, and they went bip. And I would assume that that meant that they knew whether you were coming in or whether you were going out. Apparently not. It didn't say the computer says yes or the computer says no. It might just as well have said bip, baked beans, 39 cents.
No, the last time I came in, I flew into Stansted, and I waited for ages in the queue, and I got to the front of the queue, and I handed my passport to the guy, and he just stared at me. He literally just stared at me like he went on that. Looked down, looked up, looked down, looked up. And then he went, "Can I have your autograph?"
My brother had to renew his driving licence recently. He had to get a photograph taken for that. And he went out the night before, like the day he was going to get it done, he got absolutely wasted. So when the photograph was taken, he was really drunk. And I was like, why did you do that? And he goes, well, in case I ever get pulled over for drink driving. I want to make sure they've got a... So they look at it and go, no, no, that's what he looks like. Drive on, sir.
He's still wearing the little hat with a... What, by the way, how did Ed Balls relax during the week? Did you see him?
Football.
Oh. You played football, yeah. The photographs appeared everywhere of Ed Balls playing football. And, you know, Grant, you know, it's not the most dignified at times, but he's committed, there's gusto there.
He says he's not going to run for the leadership. Looks like he could waddle for it.
Yeah, unfortunately, the fact that both photographs feature this doesn't make it look that he constantly, that's all he did, like that midway through the game he stored nuts for the winter.
All the people were chanting, he's fat, he's round, he devalued the pound. Eddie Balls, Eddie Balls.
Noticing that the sponsorship logo on it is the National Grid. Why are National Grid spending money to sponsor? What is our other option to get electricity around other than the National Grid? Why does the National Grid need to advertise themselves? What else are we going to use?
This is the National Grid. Are you getting electricity from a guy with a bucket? Don't do that. Use plugs. Plugs are connected to us, the National Grid.
This was a match. This was a football match between Labour MPs and journalists, apparently. And in the match report, it said that Labour had a very disappointing left wing. That close to satire.
Yeah. How popular is Miliband at the moment?
How long is a piece of shitty string?
You're like part rhetorical, but with the word shitty inside it. Yeah. No, so any idea where he is in the polls?
He's got a difficult job, hasn't he? Because he's got to keep the unions on side. Because we don't want a coal strike like 1974, because that year there were a lot of snowmen without eyes.
Isn't it that his personal rating is at an all-time low?
His personal rating is minus 33 at the moment.
Does that mean 33 people have to like him for him to say, nobody likes me?
It's a good line, actually. It's 16 and a half people really have to. It's a swing thing. So, it's a good joke, but mathematically I can't let it pass.
Darren, don't take this wrong, but fuck off.
The risk of going off on a tangent. I am impressed with the TV coverage of the Labour Party conference, particularly Paxman. He's come a long way since trying to eat dots and being chased by ghosts around the maze.
Never happier to say this. In other news, what is David Cameron doing to improve Britain's image abroad?
Now, this is interesting, because David Cameron has decided he wants to put the great back in Britain, because he is worried that after the riots, people think it's called great because it's the best place to start a fire in. It's a very clever joke. They've got absolutely nothing.
He's trying to promote Britain abroad, isn't
Yes.
he? He's basically trying to... The ministers want to encourage people to come and shop in Britain, and you're worried that apparently the rioters may have given a negative image to Britain abroad.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking, if you wanted to come to Britain for shopping, I don't think the riots would have put you off. You'd have thought, brilliant, I can go shopping and I won't have to pay for any of it.
But this campaign, the posters are including images like Richard Branson, Wallace and Gromit, and Henry VIII.
Yes.
Because these are this is what makes Great Britain great: late trains, wrong trousers, and murdering your wife.
I'll just show you the posters, because these were released by the Department of Culture, Media and Sport. Let's have a look at one of them. Countryside is Great Britain. See, it's difficult to even read them out loud because you don't really know how... It's Great Britain underneath. So great. Heritage is another one, as you mentioned. Henry VIII is on the first. And my personal favourite, which is green, is Great Britain, which is clearly written by Yoda. Green is Great Britain. Anyone can do it. Anyone can do it. We banged up a couple, just yesterday in the office. I like this one. It took 2 flushes. Now I feel great. Or another favourite of mine, which is, thanks, love, that was great.
He's right there, isn't he? That one with the trains, is right, because the trains are what makes Britain great, because they provide unparalleled views of the British countryside. And they often provide them without the blurring effects of velocity.
It's not a very imaginative campaign, is it? He's just nicked the idea from Frosties, basically. What next? What next? The Thames. It's so full of sewage, it even turns the water chocolatey.
OK, at the end of that round, the points go to Ed, Holly and Andy. Now we play a round called Chortle Combat. This game involves Milton, Holly and Chris. So if you could make your way to the performance area, please. This round is a stand-up challenge. I launch the wheel of news, and wherever it chooses to stop, one of our performers must step forward and talk about that subject. The winner is whoever I think is the funniest. OK, here we go. Let's spin the wheel. The first subject is modern living. Who wants to come in on that? Holly.
I recently changed where I live. I moved house, and I've moved to one of those areas that I think a lot of Britain is like this. It's sort of nice in some areas and a bit scuzzy in other areas. It's the sort of place where if you see a white tent on the side of the road, you're not quite sure if it's a crime scene or a farmer's market. When I bought it, my parents came to visit me, and they gave me the most middle-class moving-in present you can give anyone. They gave me a visitor's book. Which is really sweet, right? But I live in a one-bedroom flat in Peckham. If you come and stay with me, you have to stay in my bed. And I'm not sure I want those people signing a book with a comments box. People seem to celebrate in really odd ways now. People are really into fancy dress. That used to be a really American thing, but like the British are really getting into it. Like I hate fancy dress. I absolutely hate it. I've had some bad experiences. I once went to a Halloween party dressed as the Grim Reaper. That's a pretty common, you know, choice of costume. The only trouble is I got the wrong address. And then it was bad for me, even worse for the old lady who opened the door. Found a harbinger of death standing there apologising for being early. With a bottle of Archers.
Thank you very much, well done, Holly. OK, let's spin the wheel again. And the subject is weather.
You do it. I'll do it. I've got this. Weather is one of the things that shows that the British people are great big Jessies. Not the British people, actually. No, there's a split here. When it snows, Scottish people do this. Oh, look, love. Snow. See you later. English people go, oh, God! It is the end of day! When it snowed last year, the BBC were going, don't go out! It's -2! We don't know if humans can live at that temperature! There are men made of snow with outstretched arms waiting for you! Go! And the news always talks us up. We're always woefully underprepared, woefully underprepared. Where's the salt? Where's the salt? Where's the salt? Look, we're never going to run out of salt in this country. As long as supermarkets continue to do value meals, we'll be fine, right? Fling a few lasagnas up the M1, you'll be grand. Don't worry about it. Chinese meal for 2, good for 40 miles, I should think. Which won't be a problem. We massively overplay this. The news are the worst at it. Sky News, I was watching Sky News on the day after it snowed, the day of the lethal compacted ice. Reporting from a rural spa where supplies were running low. And in an attempt to ramp up the tension, the reporter genuinely said this phrase, "This place is down to its last pack of croissants." Oh, God, the humanity! Forced to eat pain au chocolat!
Thank you very much, Chris. Well done. OK, that leaves us with Milton. Let's see what you've been left with. Let's spin the wheel. And the topic is careers.
At college, I studied agriculture and communications, specialising in sheep. In the end, I came out with a BAA. After that, I set up the British Sheep Census, but I fell asleep halfway through that. At the end of the day, my dad always goes around pulling out all the plugs and turning out all the lights, very safety conscious. Why he got the sack from air traffic control. My nephew, when he grows up, he wants to be an accountant. So for his birthday, I bought him a great big bag of receipts. I said, listen, don't worry if you don't like them. I've kept all the presents. You know, when you're a pirate and you work mainly canals, annoying, isn't it, when you try and get one of your enemies to walk the plank? They just run off down the towpath. Mind you, the state of the towpath near us, I wouldn't touch it with...
Punch again round. Go to Milton and Chris. Come on, sit back down. Our next round is called If This Is the Answer, What Is the Question? On the board are 6 categories. Holly, which category would you like?
Please, might have foreign news.
OK, your category is foreign news. And the answer is 12 years. What is the question?
Is it how many years WKD has to be in an oak barrel before it's served?
Is it how long will it take to get out of the Olympic car park afterwards?